Okay, so that was a little taste there, and thank you for turning in to another isotroposphere video. Today we're going to explore a little modular synthesis. I know there's a big crowd into it, and also a big crowd that doesn't understand these things. Anyway, I'm going to try and shed a little light on it with my own personal twist here. What you're looking at and what you heard before, other than the Korg ER1 Mach 2 Electribe doing the percussion along with this thing here. This is the Super Synthesis Super 37 keyboard modular system. Basically, this thing only comes with this module here, which is the keyscan, and all of this here is blank, allowing you to customize it to your own liking. So when you push a key, you can see here on the keyscan module, the little lamp lights up. That lets you know that you're getting output. Also, this everything over here to the right is one module in itself. There are several different manufacturers that sell complete modules, or what's called as a voice. This one happens to be by MFB. It's called the Kraftwerk, however you pronounce it. I also have a VCA module that I built. That stands for voltage controlled amplifier. I have a voltage controlled low pass filter here, along with one in the Kraftwerk module. This is a clone of the original Moog 904A low pass filter. We have a mixer here and entry point to bring stuff in from the external world, including, your guitars or whatever you want. There's a multiple here. You've got a dual LFO, which stands for low frequency oscillator, a triple VCO, which is a voltage controlled oscillator, VCF, which is voltage controlled filter, VCA, which is voltage controlled amp. Both of these here are that. And a dual ADSR, which is an envelope generator, which ADSR is a attack, decay, sustain, release. So think of your sound as an envelope inside an envelope, and you're letting it out, according to these settings, your attack, your decay, sustain, and release. All corresponding to basically when you trigger the envelope, which happens when you press a key. So we're going to go ahead and set up that patch that you just listened to. Basically, this module ties in with the keyscan module. The keyscan module inside of this thing here also distributes your gate and your control voltage along the distribution board in the various pathways there, and this module ties into that. So basically, I don't have to have any patch cords going in order to get a sound other than one single output, which I'm going to send to the mixer, and you can see the mixer here is tied into my main mixer, which is slightly off screen to the north there. And basically what you get with jumping from the output of the VCA to the input 1 on the mixer, according to how you have everything set up here, you're going to get a sound. So you can see basically kind of where that lies in the patch itself. What you are hearing is the voltage controlled oscillator basically has its own built-in mixer here to the right-hand side. You've got the level for oscillator 1, the level for oscillator 2, the level for oscillator 3, and then a noise mix. So you can add some... You can add a little noise in there if you want. Also, there's separate outs for each one of these. This is a very complex module. There's patching behind the scenes, like I said, so you don't have to use patch cords, but you can and modify it in ways which is not hardwired in the back. Basically, your traditional keyboard, that everybody kind of buys, is going to have all these oscillators and filters and your amp and your envelope all built inside. And yeah, you can modulate them in certain ways with certain things, but a modular system is designed so that you have control over the signal routing. The oscillator is your noise. Your filter kind of controls how that sounds. A low frequency LFO, that's below the hearing threshold, hence low frequency, and it's basically used to modulate things. You can modulate the pitch, you can modulate your filter, you can modulate your amp to control the loudness of the sound, you can modulate the ADSR, whatever you want to do. Everything is pretty much open on a modular for you to experiment. And I hope, I kind of captured a little bit of the essence of that here. These things aren't for everybody, but if you want to work outside the box of presets and everything else, then the limit is your own imagination and what you can do with these things. And modules now there are so many different manufacturers that you can just go crazy, and like I said, the limit is your own imagination. You can really... So anyway, back to the patch. We've got level 1 of oscillator 1 mixed in pretty heavy, level 2 about, and level 3 almost halfway together. And it's fading away according to, the envelope. Like I said, all of your sound is routing into that envelope, and then you can use it to come in slow, go away slow, come in fast, however you want to control that envelope, which ultimately affects, when you press a key, what happens to the sound. The typical signal path, like I said, you can break this chain, or if you're using modules that are tied into the, like I said, the keyscan or a distribution board in the back, which carries, most manufacturers carry a gate and CV signal along that. So if your module can tap into that routing, then you can use that as well, instead of patch cords. So basically the only thing we have patched out is the sound of this module going out to the mixer over here to the right. And if we can mess around with the knobs, you're going to change the sound and just exactly, you're free to experiment and come up with ideas that... But back to the patch here. We kind of just have a mix of these three oscillators going out right now. If we mess with the filter, you can kind of hear what a nice filter will do. There's crazy filters out there. There's really simple filters out there. But everybody kind of recognizes that sound. And most filters as well, you can get them to feed back on itself with the resonance. So that's kind of that happening there. You know, I decided to add a little variance to this here, and took the ring mod, which is a combination of the first two oscillators, and I sent that over here to the Moog filter. So signal in from the ring mod out. And then also, you know, I basically just, well, actually I gated that. So I went to VCA. The VCA in this module is capable of 3 signals, but I don't really like it all that much for its mixing capabilities. I haven't explored. I've actually explored it quite a bit and didn't find it to my liking. So we're going into the voltage controlled amplifier from the ring out, and then from there we're going into the filter, and then out from the filter into channel 2 on the mixer. So if we just want to hear that, we don't have any control volt. CV, or control voltage, is basically the same thing as if you turn a knob. If you turn a knob, you're sending a voltage to as a signal to something. Same thing applies with it. It's basically you're sending that voltage, which is called a control voltage. Now you can use other things to send that control voltage, so you don't have to sit there and turn the dial by hand. I'm patching in basically output, I believe 2 went to the ring mod VCA. So now we're hearing a combination of the first 2 oscillators sent through an amp, then through the filter, and out to the mixer. We're also going to modulate the filter a little bit so you can hear that nice sweeping sound with a low frequency oscillator, which is pulsing. I don't know if you can see this little red LED indicator, but so yeah, you get a nice little sweeping sound there on the filter, effectively opening and closing at the rate of the low frequency oscillator. Pretty cool, huh? So in addition to, let's see, I think I used up too many of my long cables here. Yeah, we'll just take this one out and replace it with a short little yellow guy here. Alright. Now we're also going to take the separate output of oscillator 2 from over here in our triple VCO, voltage controlled oscillator, and we're going to send that to the input of the second VCA on this dual VCA unit, and we're going to control that with the output of ADSR number 1 here, and then the mix from that over to the mixer, channel number 3. So basically now we're going to get a little bit of a shorter version with ADSR1. And that sounds pretty nice. It's like a little accent. So if we mix everything back in, we get that nice lovely sound. And I've taken that and actually recorded it, not really recorded it, but looping it through the Akai Head Rush pedal, which has a looping feature, and basically it's what you heard at the beginning, but it sounds like this. So that completes our little patch and a very, very brief tutorial on modular synthesis, and I hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned to more isotroposphere videos. Thank you.